Holy shit, 3 feet of snow just buried Michigan. And this is about to get absolutely insane for 100 million Americans. Right now, as I'm talking to you, a monster polar vortex is diving straight into the U.S. with the most brutal Arctic air of the winter. But here's what's going to blow your mind. Atlanta, Birmingham, and Charlotte could wake up to snow on Sunday morning. We're talking about 50-degree temperature drops in 24 hours, creating genuinely life-threatening conditions across half the country. Drop your city in the comments right now, because what I'm about to show you could save your life this weekend. Winds are literally screaming through the plains at 70+ miles per hour, and this Arctic freight train is headed straight for you. This isn't just cold weather. This is a complete atmospheric revolution that's about to shut down entire regions of America. Michigan's Upper Peninsula is getting absolutely destroyed by lake effect snow that's creating zero visibility death traps on highways. We're seeing snow squalls that dump 6 inches in 30 minutes, then clear skies, then another devastating burst. It's absolutely wild. But here's where this gets absolutely insane. The Southeast is about to get hit with something they never see. The Appalachian Mountains are setting up for a legitimate snow emergency starting tomorrow morning, and it's going to be brutal. Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, places that shut down for 1 inch are about to get absolutely buried. Here's the kicker that's shocking meteorologists. Surface temperatures will decide between historic snow or devastating disappointment. 1 degree difference could mean the difference between 6 inches of snow or just cold rain for millions of people. From Alabama through Georgia and into the Carolinas, we're on a knife's edge between winter wonderland and complete disaster. Tell me right now, are you praying for snow or absolutely terrified of this Arctic invasion coming your way? Because what happens next is going to rewrite the history books for winter weather across the eastern United States. The tropospheric polar vortex is parked directly over Hudson Bay, acting like a massive ice cube machine for the entire continent. Chicago, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Detroit, you're about to get hit with the most brutal cold you've experienced in years. But wait, there's more. Multiple Arctic waves are coming, not just one, and they're getting progressively more dangerous. Tuesday, January 21st brings the strongest surge, potentially creating life-threatening wind chills from Canada to Texas. A monster 1,040 millibar high-pressure system is building that's legitimately off the charts for this time of year. This Arctic air is so dry, it's going to create explosive snowfall when it meets any moisture. And guess what's coming? Next weekend, a potentially historic nor'easter is developing, targeting every major city from D.C. to Boston. We're talking about the kind of storm that shuts down airports, closes schools, and makes national headlines for weeks. Let me break down exactly what this means for your city, because the impacts are going to be absolutely devastating. Richmond, Virginia could see 8 to 15 inches. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore might get their biggest snow since the 2016 blizzard. Philadelphia and New York are positioned perfectly for potentially massive accumulations if this storm tracks correctly offshore. Boston could see their biggest snowfall since the historic 2015 blizzards. We're talking about potentially 2 feet of snow. But let me get specific about what's coming for individual metropolitan areas, because this is absolutely critical information. Norfolk and Virginia Beach might see their first significant snow in years. Imagine the absolute chaos in those unprepared cities. Raleigh and Charlotte are in the danger zone for what could be their biggest snow event since the epic 2018 storm. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and the entire Piedmont region could get buried under 6 to 12 inches of heavy, wet snow. Columbia, South Carolina, you're not safe either. This could bring your first measurable snow in over 3 years. Augusta, Georgia, and Savannah could see snowflakes for the first time since 2018, creating absolute pandemonium. Jacksonville, Florida might even see some flakes mixing in. When's the last time that happened in January? Now let's talk about the Mid-Atlantic, because this region is positioned for potentially historic accumulations. Annapolis and the entire Chesapeake Bay region could see 10 to 18 inches if this low pressure develops correctly. Dover, Delaware, and Wilmington are right in the sweet spot for maximum snowfall if the storm tracks just offshore. Trenton, New Jersey, and Princeton could get absolutely buried. We're talking about potentially historic snow totals. Atlantic City might see more snow than they've gotten in a single storm in over a decade. Newark, Jersey City, and the entire northern New Jersey metro could see 12 to 20 inches if everything aligns. But here's what's absolutely mind-blowing. This is being triggered by a Pacific Ocean heat wave called a Kelvin wave. This heat source is literally reorganizing atmospheric patterns across the entire continent in real time. Around January 22nd, subtropical moisture will collide head-on with our Arctic air mass, creating perfect storm conditions. The I-95 corridor could see the kind of snowfall that gets written about in meteorology textbooks for decades. Let me break down the Northeast cities, because this could be absolutely legendary for this entire region. Bridgeport, Connecticut, and New Haven are positioned for potentially massive snow totals, possibly their biggest in years. Hartford could see 15 to 25 inches if this storm develops the way the models are suggesting. Springfield, Massachusetts, and Worcester could get absolutely buried under potentially historic snowfall amounts. Providence, Rhode Island is right in the bullseye for what could be their biggest snow event since the 2013 blizzard. Portland, Maine, and Bangor could see incredible amounts if this storm tracks far enough north along the coast. Burlington, Vermont, and Montpelier might get caught in the northwestern edge with significant accumulations. Albany, New York, and the entire Capital District could see 12 to 20 inches if this develops correctly. Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo are looking at enhanced lake effect on top of the initial storm. Absolutely brutal combination. Now let's talk about what this means for the Midwest, because you're getting hit from multiple directions. Cleveland and Akron are positioned for significant lake effect enhancement that could dump feet of snow in hours. Toledo and Youngstown could see the worst lake effect snow they've experienced in years from Lake Erie. Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and the entire western Michigan region are looking at relentless lake effect through February. Fort Wayne, Indiana, and South Bend could get caught in multiple snow bands as this pattern establishes. Indianapolis and Cincinnati are positioned for several clipper systems, bringing accumulating snow throughout late January. Columbus, Ohio, and Dayton could see significant snow from both clippers and potential nor'easter backwash. Louisville, Kentucky, and Lexington are right on the edge of multiple winter weather threats over the next 2 weeks. Nashville, Tennessee, and Memphis could see their first significant snow of the season if patterns align correctly. Now here's where this story gets absolutely wild. What happens after this Arctic siege ends will shock everyone. Around January 31st, we're going to see the most dramatic temperature snapback you've ever witnessed in your life. We're talking about going from Arctic brutality to 60-degree weather in just days. It's going to be absolutely mind-bending. But don't think winter is done. This warm-up is just setting the stage for an even more insane February pattern. The second half of February could bring another complete flip with massive snow potential returning to the mountains. Let me tell you exactly what this means for the Mountain West, because they're about to hit the jackpot. Denver, Colorado Springs, and Fort Collins could go from drought conditions to potentially historic snowfall in weeks. Boulder and the entire Front Range might finally see the consistent snow they've been desperately waiting for. Vail, Aspen, and Steamboat Springs could see powder conditions that literally save the entire ski season. Salt Lake City, Park City, and the Wasatch Mountains could get buried under feet of champagne powder. Provo, Ogden, and the entire Wasatch Front might see their snowiest February in over a decade. Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Santa Fe could finally see significant snow after one of their driest starts to winter. Flagstaff, Arizona, and the entire Colorado Plateau region might get absolutely buried under multiple feet. If blocking develops in Alaska, we could see another Arctic invasion that makes this current one look like child's play. The Sierra Nevada could get buried under feet of snow, ending one of the worst droughts in California mountain history. Lake Tahoe, Mammoth Mountain, and all the California ski resorts could go from disaster to epic in just weeks. Sacramento, California, and Fresno might actually see snow in the valley floors if this pattern gets extreme enough. Reno, Nevada, and Carson City are positioned perfectly for potentially historic mountain snow enhancement. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest could see their own dramatic weather changes as patterns reorganize. Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia might transition from mild Pacific air to legitimate Arctic cold snaps. Portland, Oregon, and Eugene could see temperatures drop 30 to 40 degrees as Arctic air finally reaches the coast. Spokane, Washington, and Boise, Idaho are positioned for potentially significant snowfall as patterns shift. Now let's talk about what this means for the Plain States, because they're getting hammered from multiple angles. Fargo, North Dakota, and Grand Forks are looking at potentially life-threatening wind chills and blowing snow. Bismarck and Minot could see some of the coldest temperatures they've experienced in years with dangerous wind chills. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Rapid City are positioned for multiple waves of Arctic air and snow. Omaha, Nebraska, and Lincoln could see several significant snow events as clipper systems track through. Des Moines, Iowa, and Cedar Rapids are looking at potentially dangerous travel conditions for weeks. Kansas City, Missouri, and Topeka, Kansas could see the most sustained cold they've experienced all winter. Wichita, Kansas, and Oklahoma City might even see some snow as Arctic air reaches unusually far south. Little Rock, Arkansas, and Shreveport, Louisiana are on the southern edge of potential winter weather impacts. Meanwhile, Texas cities are preparing for their own version of Arctic brutality that could be genuinely dangerous. Dallas, Fort Worth, and the entire Metroplex could see temperatures drop to levels not experienced in years. Houston, San Antonio, and Austin might experience freezing temperatures that could damage infrastructure. El Paso, Texas, and Lubbock could see significant snow if moisture timing aligns with the Arctic air mass. Now, here's what I absolutely need from you. Drop your exact location and tell me what you're most worried about. Are you hoping for snow days, or are you terrified about losing power and being stranded in dangerous conditions? Tell me about your specific situation. Do you have to commute? Do you have elderly family? Are you prepared? The most requested cities will get detailed emergency breakdowns that could literally save lives during dangerous conditions. I'll personally respond to as many as possible with specific timing, accumulations, and safety recommendations. For those in apartment complexes and urban areas, make sure you have emergency supplies because this could last days. Rural communities need to be especially prepared because road crews might not reach you immediately during blizzard conditions. Truck drivers and long-haul travelers need to avoid the impact zones entirely or risk being stranded for days. Airport travelers should expect massive delays and cancellations across the entire eastern seaboard and Midwest. School districts are already making contingency plans because this could shut down education for millions of children. Power companies are pre-positioning crews because ice and heavy snow could leave millions without electricity. Emergency services are preparing for increased accident calls and medical emergencies during the worst conditions. But here's what you need to do right now. If this information just opened your eyes, smash that like button immediately. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because when these storms hit, every update could be life-saving information. Share this with everyone in your area because people desperately need to know what's coming for their exact location. This polar vortex event is going to rewrite how we remember this winter season forever, and you need to be prepared. We're tracking every development in real time, and missing critical updates could be genuinely dangerous for your family. Whether you're dealing with emergency travel or planning for power outages, you absolutely must stay weather aware. The atmosphere is setting up for the most intense winter weather sequence we've seen in years, and it's happening right now. Keep coming back because this pattern is evolving by the hour, and every piece of information could save your life. Winter is about to show its absolute true power, and you need to be ready for what's coming next. The most dangerous and potentially historic part of this winter is just getting started, and it's going to be absolutely brutal. Stay safe, stay informed, and stay ready for the weather revolution that's about to change everything you thought you knew about winter. This is going to be the kind of weather pattern that people talk about for decades, and you're witnessing it in real time. Remember to check back for updates because conditions are changing rapidly and new threats are developing constantly. The polar vortex revolution starts now, and everyone needs to be prepared for what's coming next.